Okay, gang, this should be interesting. This comes from a channel called Watch WWE, and the video is called 10 Shocking WWE Moments That Happened by Mistake. There's a lot of room for things to go awry within professional wrestling for any type of performance that's live. Obviously, there's plenty of plenty of different ways things could go wrong, or just sometimes it's not even necessarily anything went wrong, but somebody just decides to work a little bit outside the lines of the script. Whatever the case may be, let's see what these shocking moments actually are and give our take on them.
And you are playing Hulk Hogan. Wow. The weed is good in Miami tonight, obviously.
That's Rock. That's pretty good stuff. And yeah, I would say it's accurate too. Oh, okay, John.
Subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. And once you're done, leave a comment down below. And
as always, support all these channels
Considering how much overproduction
we
goes
react
into
to.
the WWE, it's kind of baffling that anything has ever happened that didn't go according to the script. I mean, seriously, the micro.
Oh, that's when the security girl was gonna shove Gronk back over the rail, right?
Management in this company is beyond absurd, especially when comparing something like a Dean Ambrose promo to a Jon Moxley promo. Yet still, nonsense seeps through the cracks, and maybe someone sneezes on there and it gives Vince a
poor
seizure.
Vince.
I don't know. It's a strange company, all right? I'm D. Wicked from Watch WWE, and here's 10 WWE moments.
And of course, we all know about the McMahon family, even by marriage, and quads.
That weren't supposed to happen. Number 10, security stops the Gronk. While WWE seemed to run a fairly tight-knit organization, that's WWE, the employees that are actually employed by Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Everyone else, though, for example, staff employees working at the arena for security, they don't really know what's going on.
Vince, he was pretty good over the years with selling stuff with facial expressions. I'll give him that, because he wasn't that good at selling stuff physically. But if it was an expression, not bad.
Time. They're not under that WWE umbrella. They're not getting the micromanagement from Vince and co. So they aren't going to get all the insight necessary, and occasionally that can cause some detriment to the product.
That makes sense.
For example, when Gronkowski was set to run interference on Jinder Mahal at the WrestleMania 33 armbar, the old Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The moment might have still ended up all right. It wasn't that huge of a blemish, but not before one poor security guard lady tried to legit stop Gronk and have him thrown out of the arena.
That is pretty cool. Look at her. And the funny thing is, as she's running over it, I think she's feeling like, oh man, I'm going to be the hero of this show.
Number 9, Kevin Nash.
And the team's over there trying to tell her, please get lost.
Here's his quad.
Oh,
Any
quads.
excuse I can get my hands on to talk about Kevin Nash busting his own body apart. You know damn well I'm taking it first chance possible. Yes, please.
Not a Nash fan, I take it?
Kevin Nash is a tall, big boy, somewhere in the 7-foot-plus demographic. And those long legs might have carried Nash through a legendary WWF career, but they haven't always held up, the ground below him, as Nash has had more than one instance of walking himself to injury. Let me repeat that sentence. Walking himself into an injury.
Wow, this guy really got it in for Kevin Nash. I never minded Kevin Nash. I mean, he's certainly not on my list of all-time favorites, but he did good work, I thought.
For example, the clip you're about to see, he might have torn his quad. He might have just blown out his knee. It really doesn't matter. What's important here, guys, is that the injury took place because he took a step forward.
Come on, dude. Give him a break. Oh, there it is. And gone.
Number 8. Vince
McMahon. That
McMahon.
sucks. See, I don't know. That's me. Maybe it's just all the years in the business and how much I love this business. I don't get any joy certainly not in anybody's injury. And more so, I don't get any joy in tearing someone down. The only video I think I've made on this channel so far that rips on somebody at all would be Hulk Hogan, and I think we all understand why that is. That's mainly in defense of other wrestlers.
Both quads, and speaking of shredding quadricepticals, who could forget the most legendary moment of one of the most infamous careers in the world?
You got to give Vince credit for continuing on with the spot, though.
Johnny Boy Cena
both
David
quads
Galaxy
torn
Guardian
has to
Batista
hurt.
the final, only for both men to perfectly fall over the top rope at the literal exact same time.
That was amazing. I mean, seriously, there was no way to call who hit first
They've
there.
tried to book this exact kind of finish before, and it has never worked as well as it did when these schlocks did it by mistake. Vince was pissed, and he came down to the ring to try and sort things out.
To work it all out.
Well, you know.
Does not look happy, and that's not a shocker.
And how did he... I've always wondered, too, when you look at him dive into... How did he tear them? He hit his quad area right here against the ring apron, but maybe that is it. It hyperextended it when it hit. Maybe, okay, if you hit on the knee, you know, at the top of the kneecap, that I guess that could pull the quads off. Well, who am I to argue?
Number 7,
the results are there.
Fan-riddled entrance. When you're Seth Rollins, it's not just the ladies throwing themselves at you, but also some random nobodies off the side of the street. Seriously, who the hell is this man? And what makes him think he could just come waltzing up to the champ like that?
Shit.
Not long after dethroning Mr. C Nation for his United States Championship, Seth waltzed his own way down the entrance ramp with both the WWE and United States Championships hoisted high on his shoulders, only for some hat in a hat to come make his temporary way down the ring alongside the champ.
That's a risky thing to do, dude.
Seem worth the punishment. You walk by Seth Rollins for 3 seconds, then you're in jail. That's not.
And not only in jail.
Don't be stupid.
What if the wrestlers get a hold of you before you can get to jail? And the thing is, I understand why they give a beat down to any fans who do. You don't know what somebody has in mind. You don't know what they have on them. What kind of blade they might have. If you're crazy enough to jump out there, you're crazy enough to do anything.
Number 6, another fan runs in, and this time it's during a promo. Hooray. A little over a year after the first unfortunate fan interaction, yet another Seth Rollins fan jumped his way over that barricade, this time making it all the way into the ring to look face-to-face with 2019's most unpopular Twitter user. Rollins proved his experience, though, as this time he actually brought it into the promo by mocking the odd hat-wearing chap and asking if
odd
that was the
hat-wearing
demon
chap.
Very well done, Mr. Rollins.
You've got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Number 5, Shayma.
He doesn't show us an awful lot of the actual incidents, but it's still fun getting the description of them. And he's lucky he did it on Rollins. There's a lot of the guys, and they're well within their right to do it. You've invaded their space, and they have every right to fear for their safety. I mean, you could have run in on one of the guys who would have just absolutely annihilated you.
Almost disarms himself. There's some general rules professional wrestlers usually try to
What'd
follow,
you do, Sheamus?
even outside just the ridiculous
Sheamus?
stipulations of specifically the WWE. Most of these little tips revolve around safety and how to work a match while most possibly keeping you and your opponent both as safe as possible. No, that sounds stupid. And how to work a match while keeping both you and your opponent as safe as possible. One of these tips, in any scenario when you're falling onto the ground body first and possibly even crashing through a foreign object, like maybe a ladder, is to never lead with your arms. Are you insane? Think about yourself. Right now. Imagine you're walking to the fridge.
You always, and you see guys, anybody can do it. Anybody can have a brain fart, a painful brain fart, but especially younger guys, you see them trying to brace themselves with their arms even on bumps.
You trip, you fall, and
not
you
a
just
good
leave
idea.
your arm semi-limp, just hanging there out in front of your body. Not even trying to break your fall, just leaving your arm out in the open. Do you think you're going to be able to eat cereal like normal the next morning? Because I got bad news for you, my friend, and Shamo, you honestly deserve to get your arm broken right about here.
Oh, come on, dude. Easy with that. Oh, yeah.
Number 4, Batista's fan.
Yeah, you always want to break the fall with your body, hopefully with your back and obviously spreading the impact. But
An interaction. We got one more instance of fans making it places they shouldn't be.
Again, he brain farted and he almost paid for it. It's nothing to hate on the guy for.
And this time, instead of a simple barricade hopper or ring slipper we got a kid who managed to get backstage and run the most perfect interference ever seen, not just in WWE,
that one had to be a work.
In fact, for a company that's so generally inept when it comes to comedy and writing it themselves, they should just start letting fans behind the scenes more often and
This guy's kind of rough, isn't he? I don't think they're necessarily that inept in writing comedy spots. I think we've watched tons and tons of great comedy
running amok,
spots
because this was
in the
hilarious.
WWE.
The fan catches Batista during one of those dumb pre-match leading into commercials, "Hey, I'm walking to the ring" things, and decided to steal Batista's entrance taunts in front of the animal before immediately hightailing out of there and being followed by a pair of security guards. Batista's reaction
That
is
one looked,
our reaction. What
now,
the-
anything's possible,
All right,
but that
anyway.
looked entirely
No, for real,
worked
what the
to me.
Batista getting...
Yeah.
Number 3.
Though, and the security guards, you could tell by that stride as they entered the frame, they were just taking off. They were standing just off camera. And, come
Jerry
on, that's a
Lawler's
work.
heart attack. I mean, sort of obvious that something as scary and unpredictable
yeah,
as
that-
a heart attack
that was
wasn't supposed to happen.
horrifying.
But still, the fact that this took place during a live broadcasted Monday Night Raw, still a little bit haunting all 7 years later.
Absolutely.
Despite being used for cheap heat numerous times over the years, and initially by CM Punk the week Lawler made his return to the sidelines, the levity of that moment is never going to go away, especially for me. I watched this when I was 12, and I thought Jerry Lawler was dead. So imagine how the boys in the back, and especially poor Michael Cole
that's-
sat beside him, felt that night and the following week.
That's just horrible. Just so glad Jerry recovered the way he
Who
did.
cares about the number of minutes that somebody was clinically dead? I can give you a number that actually means something.
Number 2,
Well, that's and again, doesn't matter who I'm a fan of, who I'm not a fan of. That's good work by Punk. Now, Jerry Lawler, you don't have anybody any more ingrained into this business than him. You know damn well Jerry Lawler is going to be 100% behind working that whole thing into an angle, working it into a shoot,
cracks
whatever.
a smile.
Absolutely.
Rest in peace, Dean Ambrose. He is officially dead. At least to me. And honestly, it's a long time coming now. Especially considering Dean himself checked out of his last WWE run before it even started. It's no surprise that most of the fans were done with him before he even got the chance to turn heel. And then once he did turn heel, yikes.
Wow, he's really rough on a lot of these guys.
That's coming from you people.
Despite the shaky time spent pre and post Moxley, we got a handful of classic moments to always look back on. You got his WWE title win, running up the 2016 Royal Rumble, those fantastic matches against Kevin Owens and Triple H in the lead up to WrestleMania 32, even the hot dog cart. It was
the guy's a
stupid. It
hell
was
of a worker.
nonsense. But in my stupid book, I loved it. As long as the front cover of that book is a big
Well,
fat
of course you'll love it. That's what I'm saying. It's supposed to be silliness. It's supposed to be silly fun. What's not to love about it?
that picture of Dean Ambrose's face trying not to laugh his off as Jake the Snake Roberts puts those middle words in between his name to good use and plops old Damien the Snake right atop Uncle Dino's face. A classic moment for the ages.
Oh! Somebody call PETA! Oh my lord!
Well, isn't
And number one.
actually facial expression wouldn't be a big deal there? Wasn't he supposed to be unconscious? And I will say this too. I have no idea if Dean Ambrose is afraid of snakes or not, but a lot of people in fear will smile or laugh. But
The Rock revisits Hulk Hogan. WrestleMania 18 saw one of the most electric clashes in professional wrestling history with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Seriously, this might be the loudest any wrestling crowd has ever gotten and then consistently stayed throughout a wrestling match.
That was amazing the way the crowd reacted to all of that.
So naturally, their encounter 14 years later was just as epic. Well, that would be, of course, if 14 years later, after 2002, didn't land you right smack dab in the era of Hulk Hogan doesn't exist.
Right.
Despite his racist remarks landing him in temporary "you can't play with the other kids" bin, this didn't stop the fans who loved him from trying. And just like the CM Punk chants prevailed, so did cosplayers dressing and showing up to WWE.
I don't remember this. I mean, he teased it earlier. I don't remember this spot.
Once Rocky got backstage after this one.
What's your name? It's Brother. And you are playing
It's
Hulk Hogan.
Brother.
Wow. The weed is good in Miami tonight.
Yeah,
Obviously.
Those are 10 WWE moments.
That's a pretty good line. Again, I like breaking these things down. I'm not as huge a fan of the way these are put together. I think there's some almost undue disparaging angles taken at the wrestlers, and I'm not a big fan of that. So, again, but I'm not going to shit on this guy either. If that's how he wants to create his videos, that's, absolutely has every right to look at things from his perspective. But I don't think we'll be revisiting a lot of his vids, even though the collection for the most part was pretty good and it was fun to watch.